You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Sometimes it just takes a good, solid sleep in your own bed, a home-cooked meal, all the comforts of Minute Maid Park to cure the Houston Astros. And that's exactly what happened tonight as they absolutely destroy the Arizona Diamondbacks on the backs of Yordan Alvarez and Framber Valdez, both guys cornerstones of this franchise, going out there and doing their thing as the Astros get a much-needed win to snap their three-game losing streak after a rough series up in Cincinnati earlier this week. Hello and welcome to the Locked On Astros Postcast here this evening. Thank you for spending some of your Friday night with me. I, of course, am Michael Connor, your host of this show. If you are new to this channel tonight or if you're watching this later, please hit that subscribe button. We're on the climb to 1,900 subscribers, I believe. I'm going to pull my phone up right now and take a look at it. Oh, we're 10 away from 1,900 subscribers. Come on, people. 10 of you can hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And then we can, you know what? We can make our climb to 2,000 by the end of the weekend. So we got a big weekend coming on this channel. This episode tonight, by the way, is brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/lockedonmlb and use code, all lowercase, LOCKEDONMLB to win $50 instantly when you play $5. So the Astros tonight looked unbelievable. They were awesome. Everything about this was huge. And we will start with the man on the mound because I know that Yordan did his thing, which, by the way, if you are, again, new to this channel, you can get your comments in the comment page. If not, well, you know how the comments go. I'm trying to find out, is our favorite player hater in the comments tonight? Is David in the building? We have one player hater on the comments section, and I don't see him here yet tonight. David is usually in there getting after it about Yordan. Yordan drove in a lot of runs tonight. He hit two baseballs very far. Yordan powered this baseball team to the win with 6 runs batted in overall in the baseball game with his 2 3-run jacks. But we're going to start tonight with Framber Valdez, a man that a lot of people love to hate. It's just the truth. It's okay. You might be one of those people. You can admit it. It's fine. Trust me. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging your truths in life. Doesn't mean you're flawed. Doesn't mean you're wrong. It's okay. Be you. Be who you are. And if that is being a Framber hater, then be your best Framber hater. But you know what you can't hate on? Is the fact that Framber Valdez has gone out there and absolutely rolled basically all season long. After having a phenomenal 2022, he had a very rough second half to 2023, and he had a just horrendous postseason. And Framber Valdez has bounced back in the biggest way possible in 2024 by basically reasserting himself as the bona fide ace of this staff. We've talked about it at length in the past. He has all the stuff that you want. He can throw at 98. His pitches move a million different directions, whether it's the sinker, diving hard and away from the righties, hard and in on the lefties. His hammer of a curveball, which nobody seems to be able to figure out. You know, he's gone away from what I thought got him in trouble last year, which was getting rid of the curveball. And he didn't get rid of it completely. He just didn't use it the same way. And he went to that cutter. But he's mixed in, like everybody else, a changeup this season, which has been massive. I'm just looking at his pitch usage right now. 46% on the sinker. It's about the same as last year. 31.5% on the curveball, which is up from 25% last season. Changeup is up to 16.9% from 15.7%. He barely throws a slider. and he has not thrown a cutter this year. Last year he threw a cutter. It was only 3.4% of the time, but it cost him, using those other pitches, some of his curveball usage. And when he throws his hammer of a curveball, because that thing truly is a hammer, it's a lethal pitch. And I know that every single one of you is always going to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out to an extent with him because of the mental side of things with Framber. But what we've seen over the last couple of months now is he's really held it in check. There are moments in every game where he gets ticked off, where he doesn't get a call or something. He goes back behind the mound, he takes that deep breath. He usually smiles. But he's, I think, done a very good job of finding a way to channel it. And channeling it like he has led to unbelievable results. The man has 25 starts now in the regular season. Of course, he nearly threw a couple of no-hitters. 14-6, 2.97 ERA, 157 in the third innings now, 153 strikeouts, 50 walks, whip at 1.09, which is actually better than his 2022 season, which was excellent. And opponent batting average is now at 218. He has just been, again, the definition of a staff ace. That is what Framber Valdez has been for this baseball team, and he was that again tonight against a Diamondbacks team that, one, comes in here playing unbelievable baseball in the second half of the season. Number two, they have scored more runs than any other team in baseball this season. The Diamondbacks, yes. A lot of that is a benefit of playing in the thin air in Arizona at elevation a little bit, where the ball soars a lot in a very hitter-friendly ballpark. They give up a lot of runs, too. I mean, they've given up 671 runs in the season. So they give up plenty, which is actually, I mean, you look at teams that are in the playoffs, it's way more than basically everybody else. They do have the starting pitching that can go out there and do their thing at times. But that's a team that is lethal at the plate. And I think that's a huge moment for this club to have that happen tonight, because they played at times some really bad baseball this week in Cincinnati. Not all the time, but game 2 was atrocious. We all know about that one. Game 1, Verlander wasn't unbelievable. They had a chance still in that baseball game, and they lost 1-0 in game 3. They pitched really well, so you can't count that as like a horrific baseball game. They just didn't hit. It was partially awful. But to go and lose to a baseball team like that 3 games in a row, that is not a team that's a contender, as you're in the beginning of September, we talked about that yesterday, was it kind of puts you down a little bit, because, you looked at that portion of the schedule and you said, oh, I got a feast here if I'm the Astros. And they didn't. And it's like, you got to go back home. You got to play the Diamondbacks, who are just playing unbelievable baseball, who look like they're on their way back to being a team that can factor into the postseason in the National League this year again. And then to follow up this series, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. The follow up this series is Oakland, but you can't even sneeze at Oakland anymore, because Oakland's actually like pesky. And I need to pull it up. I think they might actually be like around a 500 team after the All-Star break. But it was one of those moments, again, this past week that kind of puts you down looking ahead to this weekend. And what a statement that is for Framber Valdez to go out there and shut down that team like that. Only give up, 2 hits in the baseball game? Astros bullpen behind him also does its thing. No hits out of the bullpen tonight. So the Diamondbacks only pounded out 2 hits the entire night. Astros had 12 to score their 8 runs. Starts at Framber. And I got to say, we've talked about it as well throughout this season. The way that he's performed and the way that he's performing now, and I am hopeful like everybody else, and I'm not going to be completely confident still that he's going to go into the postseason and continue this. I think he will, but I'm not 1,000% like, oh yeah, that's going to happen. We know it might not. He might be due, though. You go back and look at his track record. He's like good postseason, postseason. Great postseason, bad postseason. Would line up to be a great postseason. But this is an important period of time for this Astros team with the construction of this franchise the way that it is now, with how prospect poor they are. They have no farm system that's worth anything. We've talked a lot about at some point you're going to have to pay some of these guys to keep them. You have to break the mold of what you've always done, which is not pay guys. Framber Valdez has put extension talk back on the radar. He's going to be expensive. But at some point, you have to say the cost of winning is expensive, which it has been for a while. And if you think about what losing what he gives you would bring to this baseball team, I know that like in the small portions of it, we think about it, it's not that big of a deal. But here's one thing that you know with Framber. He's always going to post. He's going to go out there and he's going to start 32 to 33 times a season. He's going to eat up 200 innings. And I'm telling you, nobody thinks about that when they think about contracts, ever. You got to get through the marathon to get to the sprint. And Framber Valdez is one of those guys that gets you through that marathon. And I'm back in on I think that they go into the offseason this winter and they have to look at it and say, all right, Framber, what's it going to take? Or make the offer that they feel is acceptable, and then negotiate. Do your thing. Same can be said for Kyle Tucker, and I think the same can be said for Alex Bregman. They're making money hand over fist over there. You guys fill at the ballpark. You see the outfield. The outfield looks like trash. It's because every second that they get the opportunity to have a concert during the summer, they have a concert, which I'm not mad at them for. Every team in baseball does it now. You go look at outfields all across the league. They're constantly looking like that, where they've got those, you can see where they've put in stages and whatnot. They're making plenty of money. They have more money than God. I'd like to keep the window open a little bit longer. That means keeping a guy like Framber Valdez around, keeping a Kyle Tucker around, keeping an Alex Bregman around, winning for a few more years. Sounds good, right? I think so. Let's talk about Yordan Alvarez. Is he finally back to being the great Yordan at home? We'll discuss it next here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Hey, you know what? The summer might be winding down a little bit, but there's still plenty of opportunity for you to get out there and, enjoy it and get yourself to that dream vacation. But maybe you're dreading the cost of it. Well, why don't you get the Ibotta app? Ibotta is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time that you shop. Earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies, even toys. So you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, that flight you've been eyeing, or the fancy dinner you've been craving. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, you earn cash back that you can withdraw to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Simply add the offers in the app, upload your receipt, and voila, the money is yours. You can save on over 2,400 brands and shop at over 1,000 retailers, including your favorite grocery stores, Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. It is time you join the over 50 million users who use Ibotta to earn cash back every time they shop. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 for just trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the app or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store and use code LOCKEDONMLB. Locked On Astros Postcast right here with you on a Friday night. I am your host, Michael Connor. I am wearing, I think this shirt is lucky. My tipping on faux fours. I say faux fours because I'm a goofy white guy. 4-4s. my Yordan Alvarez shirt. And it seems like every time I wear this shirt, Yordan Alvarez goes off. We're going to talk Yordan in just a second, but a little housekeeping for you here. Just want to remind you guys, first of all, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button. I mentioned it earlier. We're on our climb to 1,900 subscribers, and I'm so grateful to all of you for doing that. It helps the channel grow, and it means a lot. It really, really does. We are 9 away now. You can find this show, if you're looking for the audio version of it, anywhere that you get your podcast. Go and search for Locked On Astros. You get this show and the Locked On Astros show. That's Brett and Eric, 5 days a week, doing great stuff for you. On the audio side of things and on their YouTube page. Go find their YouTube page, the Locked On Astros YouTube page, and hit subscribe there and watch their shows as well. For this channel this weekend, I've mentioned it all week long, but I want to remind you guys again, a very busy weekend on the Locked On Sports Houston page. Tomorrow, we have Astros, 3 o'clock. We will have the postcast as soon as the game ends, like we always do. Later on tomorrow night, now look, I know what the line of the game is. I know that it might not be the most intriguing matchup of the weekend on paper, but guess what? The Cougs play the Sooners tomorrow night, and maybe, just maybe, they're going to pull off an upset. As soon as the game ends tomorrow night, it'll be an all-time upset, I will say that. If the Cougs can do it, no matter what, we will talk Cougs and Sooners tomorrow night on the Locked On Cougs postcast once that game wraps up. And then Sunday, we have our first of the regular season, Texans, Colts opener in Indianapolis. The Locked On Texans postcast goes live as soon as that one ends. That's a 12 o'clock start on Sunday. We'll be live around 3-ish. And if you missed the news yesterday, there will be not just my voice on these shows starting week 2 of the season. We're not going to start week 1 with him because he had some family obligations, but former Texan Wade Smith will be joining me on the Locked On Texans postcast every single week. Really looking forward to working with him and hanging out with you guys every Sunday or Monday or Thursday or whatever weird day that they're playing football. I mean, they're playing a football game tonight in Brazil. But Wade Smith will join us for that. And looking forward to breaking down what should be a very exciting season for the Texans. I think one that we're all anticipating being pretty darn good. So, again, we'll do that Sunday. Sunday will be just me, but after that, Wade will join me every single week, except for the one game that I'm pretty confident I'll miss. I don't think I will. If I can pull it off, I think we might stay right next to the stadium. I'm going to the game, that Monday night game against the Dallas Cowboys. So Wade will probably have somebody else doing the show with him that night. But I'll let you know when we get there. We're a ways away from that as well. And then tomorrow night, or I shouldn't say tomorrow night, Sunday night, Astros Diamondbacks, Sunday night baseball. We got the gift of the sports schedule on that one. We will do the postcast whenever that one wraps up, probably in the 9 o'clock range on Sunday. So, again, there's your reminders for everything on this channel. And, again, please hit that subscribe button so you're here for all of it. Yordan Alvarez. He's back, right? He had a rough series in Cincinnati. They all had a rough series in Cincinnati, but at home specifically, Yordan has seemed to have finally found his stroke. And that's big, of course. It's an anomaly. It means nothing. It's just one of those weird – it's like the year where they couldn't win at home last year. It just happens. Baseball's this unexplainable sport that at times it makes no sense. Yordan now on the season – is up to 272 and 12 home runs at home with an 812 OPS. Road numbers are still, of course, way better. 348, 20 bombs, an OPS of 1123. But they need him to play like this at home. We all know that. And they need him to kind of put the team on his back and have these big RBI productions. That's the one thing. Now, I know that they've moved him around the lineup a lot, and his opportunities have been a little bit less this year at times, it feels like, to get guys home because he doesn't have guys on base all the time. And then he's also not typically hitting home runs with guys on base, which, you got to figure that he's hit 7 of his 30. What is he at? 32 home runs now? 17 of them this season, solo home runs. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. This is how weird you can get with it. 10 of his home runs have come with a runner on first, 1 with a runner on second, 4 with a runner on first and second. That's the breakdown for you this season. He does not have a grand slam. The Astros, I believe, are the only team in the league still that does not have a grand slam this season. So maybe Yordan can fix that at some point. But they need his bat to keep doing, to keep sitting here doing that every single time when they play at home. That would be kind of a big deal. He's as elite as it gets. And a lot like Framber Valdez, who we were talking about, he kind of carries you where you're going. And by the way, real quick, I have not updated it as we've done this show so far. The Astros did not gain any ground in the American League West tonight because the Mariners ended up winning tonight. They beat the St. Louis Cardinals by a final of 6-1. So the Astros lead in the American League West does not change. That's okay. They won tonight. The most important thing is, I know we can worry about the standings and watch the standings and everything. The number one thing, of course, as simple as it gets, is as cliche as it gets. The Astros have to take care of their business, and they have to win baseball games. And they didn't do that for 3 straight days in Cincinnati. And today, they took care of their business, and they won a baseball game. And they have a 4.5 game lead in the American League West today. They're going to do okay. That series at the end of the season will put the cap on the Mariners season when the Astros probably eliminate them in that series at Minute Maid Park. This series can be won tomorrow. Let's talk about the importance of winning this series tomorrow for the Astros. We'll do that here in just a brief second on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Right now, I need to tell you about America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. That's right, it's PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, well, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. They got a really cool thing going on in the month of September. Of course, football is back. And in September, 1 Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on PrizePicks every week in the month of September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. So don't miss out on this deal on PrizePicks, because when September ends, it is gone. It is a fantastic way to take in your games, and it's a fantastic way to get your money. PrizePicks is puts the members first. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you get that money as quick as 15 minutes. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Locked On Astros Postcast, rolling on here on a Friday night. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm your host, Michael Connor. Real quick update from the Astros game tonight. Mauricio Dubon did lead the game. X-rays came back negative, is what Brian McTaggart and Chandler Rome just tweeted a couple of moments ago. So that is a good thing for them that he's not hurt, because this team's been banged up enough this season. Absolutely banged up way too much, and they don't need that anymore. Tomorrow, a chance to win this series. 3:10 our first pitch. We'll be live again, probably in the 6 o'clock range. Yusei Kikuchi against Eduardo Rodriguez. Advantage Astros in this matchup in the battle of lefties, based off the way that Kikuchi has played. I'm going to be interested to see, first of all, how he fares against a lineup that, as I mentioned a moment ago, has played some really good baseball overall and really can put the ball into play and really can put up a bunch of runs. But I'm also interested to see how the Astros game plan him. If there's been one thing that they've been hesitant on so far since getting Kikuchi, it's been letting him see a lineup a third time through. Last time out, they've pushed, they've tried. It's not that they're unwilling to give him the chance to do it. Last time out, he finally broke that barrier, got past the 6-inning mark because every start, it's just wild to look at. 5 2/3, 5 1/3, 5 2/3, 5 2/3, 5 2/3, and then he went 7 last time. But the theme has been this: he's given up no more than 3 runs, and that's only happened one time. All his other starts, less than 2 or less. He's given up 2, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1. Rodriguez, by the way, has only made 5 starts this season. Got a 5.33 ERA in those games. Astros have had some success against him in the past as well. I would expect the Astros bats to continue what they did tomorrow against Rodriguez in that series. But look, the Astros need to win this series. This is an important series. I've gone over it, and it's worth repeating. This is a series against a team that's a playoff team in the National League. This is a series where you at home need to keep reminding people that it's not just, we only beat the bad teams, which they actually didn't beat the bad teams the other day. They can beat the good teams. If they're able to somehow sweep this series, by the way, they'd get back to a 500 record against teams with a winning record this season. So that would be good for them. I think they can win tomorrow's baseball game. I'm pretty confident that they'll win tomorrow's baseball game. Now it's just up to baseball to not be baseball and tick me off and tick you off and be stupid tomorrow. And maybe, just maybe, my silly little prediction will come true. Thank you again for joining us tonight here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. As always, I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. We're on our climb to 1,900 subscribers. We were 9 away, people. Hit the button. I know you can do it. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, after the game ends, join me right here again on this same channel for reaction to the Astros and Diamondbacks Game 2 of this 3-game series. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday night, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow evening right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.